Director of the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consulate General of India in Durban, Dr. Chaitanya Prakash Yogi, Mr. Mukwevo Mpfariseni David, Mr. Toki Mohoto, Mr. CPVM Chunu, Mr. Piyush Khandelwal, distinguished guests, online viewers, namaskar and welcome to the first episode of Uhambo Lwami, My Journey. Indeed, today we are interacting with a very dynamic member of the community, and that is Mr. Mukwevo Mpfariseni David, who is a series producer for Stained Glass Productions at the Udalo SABC 1. Sir has worked with many media and communication houses as well. Today, Sir will be interacting with Mr. Toki Mohoto, a social activist and author from KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. Sit back, relax as we take you on this incredible journey of Uhambo Lwami.
Welcome to Uhambo Lwami, My Journey. This is episode 4. My name is Toki Mohoto. Today I'm going to be interviewing a veteran TV and film producer. His name is Dave Mpfariseni Mukwevo. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Welcome, Mr. Mukwevo. How do you do today?
No, I'm doing very well. Thank you for the introduction.
Great stuff.
Yes, you did pronounce it well.
Oh yeah, great stuff, great stuff. I've been dying to interview Mr. Dave Mukwevo because most of us may not be aware, but almost any telenovela that you see on TV, he has either had his finger, his skills, or his association attached to it. So hence the need for me to interview and interact with him, because he's quite a legendary contributor in the social cultural landscape of South Africa. Before we waste any further time, because I know he's quite pressed, please kindly just share your background information regarding where you came from and how did you become or decide on film and TV production.
Thank you. Before I can even go there,
Sure.
I'm not sure about the veteran or legendary part. Mpfariseni David Mukwevo, as you have said, I was born and raised in Venda, in a village called Sianda. Mm-hmm. I was in Venda from grade 1 until grade 12. Primary school, senior primary, and high school. Yeah, all those were in Venda. And then after matric, I had to go to TWR, which is now called UJ in Auckland Park, Johannesburg, where I studied sport management.
Yeah.
After studying sport management, I struggled to find a job, like we all do here in South Africa.
Yes.
I struggled to find a job, and then I ended up seeing myself working for a plastic recycling company called Remade Plastic in Germiston. I was there from August 2003 until November 2005. I worked there as a machine operator for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I got promoted to become a team leader. I worked as a team leader for like 6 months before I got promoted to become a floor supervisor. And I left that company while working as a floor supervisor. And I went to Magaliesberg to work as propagation supervisor. And even that Magalies, where I worked as a propagation supervisor, I was hired to work as a propagation supervisor. But funny enough, within 3 weeks of working as propagation supervisor, I got promoted to become the first black manager in the company. That happened in December 2005. And then I worked there until 2000 until May. I remember the last day of my work there was my birthday. It was 2008. Yes, it was 15th of May 2008. And the reason for me leaving there was because I was tired of doing all these other things, because I've always wanted to either work in sport administration, television, or radio production.
Yes.
So there's this one day, I think it was around February 2008, after work, when I got home, there was this program called 3 Talk for SABC 3.
Yes, I remember.
and Nolene was the host.
Yes.
And that day, the guest on the show was Dr. Miles Monroe, the late.
Yes.
And the topic on the day was about people that died before they lived. Dr. Miles Monroe said that the richest place in the world was the gravesite, because that's where businesses were never opened, the lives that were never lived. And then that day I decided that I'm done with this, because I didn't want to die and become that part of that statistic. So I decided on the same day that you know what, I'm done. And the following day I sent through my resignation at work. And I said to them, it's February now. I'm not going to leave tomorrow. I'll leave on the 15th of May. So I'm giving you enough time to look for someone to replace me. Obviously, I had to attend about 3, if not 4 exit interviews where they were trying to convince me to stay. Asking me, what can we do to make you to stay? Can we double your salary? And I said, unfortunately, you cannot give me what I need. Because what I need now is either sport administration, radio, or television production. And you guys don't have it here. This is horticulture. So that's how I left. And then I went back to Joburg. And mind you, when I was in Makhalis, I was doing very well. I had a nice house that belonged to the company. I didn't have a car of my own at the time. But the company made the car available for me. So whenever I wanted to go anywhere, I'll call the driver to drive me around. So they treated me like a king in the company. So me living, even the family, my own family couldn't understand. A lot of people, in fact, most of the people at the time thought that I was bewitched, because it didn't make sense to anyone else except myself. And at the time, I even lost a girlfriend that I loved because she also thought that she didn't understand. I was the only person. It was myself and my best friend called Abel Chauke who understood what I was going through. But otherwise, even my mom, my sisters, my brothers, they couldn't understand it. They thought I was bewitched. Because when I left to Joburg, there was no promise, there was nothing. I said I'm going back to Joburg to hustle. And I'm not going to stop this hustle until I get what I want. I get to Joburg, I stayed with the same friend Abel in a shack in Ivory Park, Imagine from that big house to a shack. And when I was staying in the shack, I couldn't even tell my family that I was staying in a shack, because already they were disappointed that I left. So it was just me and Abel there in that shack. And then I was sending around CVs, going, opening, trying to knock on the doors. I even went to Kaya FM to speak to a guy called Neil Johnson, who was this programs manager at the time, wanting an opportunity to at least produce one of the shows or train as a producer. Obviously, it didn't happen. I went to a few, even community radio stations, trying to get a chance. And I will tell them that I don't want to broadcast. I want behind the scenes. I want to produce. But it wasn't easy. Like, I stayed for a while. Remember, I left my work on the 15th of May, 2008. Between 15th of May, 2008 until June 2009, I wasn't working. I was going up and no money, nothing. Going up and down. Until this other day, when I was listening to a radio on a Sunday, they said that Mubango was going to do auditions in Venda. Sometime in June 2009. They said Mubango was going to do auditions in Venda at Koroni Hotel. And then I thought maybe this is an opportunity that I've been waiting for. And obviously, I didn't want to audition because I never wanted to become an actor. But I decided that, I heard about that on a Sunday, and then on a Monday morning, I took a bus home. The audition was on a Wednesday. And I remember when I got home on a Monday, that Tuesday, I think it was there was a church conference, a youth, something about youth, and then I had to go to that conference. And then on Wednesday morning, I woke up, go to the queue at Koroni Hotel, and there were about 500 people already when I got there. And they will give you scripts. Obviously, you can't say I'm not here to act, because they won't take you serious. They will send you back. There were a lot of people, and because when it's a lot of people, you go in with your partner, because you can't go in one. Otherwise, they won't fit. So they were asking us to partner up so that we can go in. And I refused, because I was not there to act, I had script in my hand, but I refused to partner with them. And they partnered, all of them. And then while they were rehearsing and everything, there comes this other lady called Murado. She didn't have a partner. And they asked if I could partner, and then I didn't have any choice but to say yes, because that was an opportunity for me to go in.
Get in, yeah.
And then we rehearsed for like a few minutes, and then we went to the queue, and then this other guy who was calling people in, facilitating the auditions, called Dagaro Kwinda, he said next. And all those people that were ready way before us didn't want to go in because I think
they froze or something.
Yeah. And then I said, no, I'm ready. And he was surprised. But you guys only started now. I said, no, I'm ready. And then we went in. When we went in, setup was there and everything. We went to stand there. And when the moment they said action, I said, no, I'm not here to do this. Can you just give me an opportunity to tell you what I need?
Yeah.
And Duma even called other people that were outside.
Yes.
Hey, please come and see what this guy is doing here. And why did you even bring him in when he wants to waste our time?
And Dumantov is the producer of Mubango.
He's the producer of Mubango, but he was seated there. And I told him that, no, I want to work for Mubango, but I don't want to act. And I explained my journey to him and everything. And at the end, he was so impressed. And he even asked me to stay at home. He said, you mustn't go back to Joburg because Mubango is coming to shoot here in July in Venda for 3 weeks. Please wait for us. We will call you when we come back. And that's how it all started.
Imagine.
Yeah, that's how it all started. And when Mubango came, they called me. I will wake up every morning, go join them at the hotel, and then we drove out. And then he tried me. And the other thing about me is that I didn't understand television. I didn't know anyone who was in television that I could talk to. Yeah, so I didn't understand. When they asked me, yes, you don't want to act, but what do you want to do? I didn't know. I didn't know. And then Duma ended up saying that it's fine, we will, like you.
Yeah, like an intern of sorts.
Yeah, he said you will spend like a week with this department or 3 days with and then you will tell us what you want later.
Oh, that's cool.
And they did that. They started me as a trainee, third AD, continuity, different departments until I got to production.
Yes.
And when I got to production, obviously they finished shooting in Venda. I didn't have a contract at the time. They said, come join us in Joburg. We're going back to Joburg. And then I came back to Joburg with them. I started as a trainee production assistant. And when I was working there, Duma, I don't know what he saw in me. He wanted me to train as a director.
Wow.
But because I was already in the production office, I refused.
Yeah.
And still people couldn't understand why is he refusing to become a director. But I told Duma that I'm happy here. This is where I belong. Yeah, and that's how it all started.
Wow.
That's all. And I started as a trainee production assistant without a production coordinator, because when I started at Mubango, there was a lady called Diana who was the production coordinator. She was going to maternity leave. So I was a trainee who didn't have anyone to show me how things are done and everything. It's like I was just thrown into the deep end. And here I am now.
Years after a renowned veteran film and TV producer, I repeat. And tell me, how do you define this inspiration that drove you to want to give up on anything in pursuit of your dream? Because I think so often most of us tend to have ideas, but when it's time for us to sacrifice for that idea, we just give up easily and go back to our corners where we are comfortable and just let those dreams, as the late Dr. Miles Monroe would say, just go lay waste at the gravesite. What was that one inspiration that made you want to be in film and TV?
One thing about me is that I go hard for what I want. And if I want something, I go for it no matter what. And I don't care whoever says what. That's why I didn't even listen to my mom and everyone else.
Or even the girlfriend that left.
Even the girlfriend. And I loved that girlfriend. But I told her that no, if I have to choose between you and my life, my future, then I'm not choosing you. So the thing with me is that I'm stubborn. I'm very stubborn. And I've always been like that. Yeah. And if something is not good for me, I leave it and I just go for what I want.
And you made a very good reference before you left the previous place of employment, where you said you had a car available to you. You also had a beautiful house. And someone would say these are markers of success, but this was not your version of success. How then do you define success to you?
Success to me is living free life, living your life to the fullest. Whether you have money or not having money, but peace of mind.
Yes.
That's success to me.
Yeah.
I just want to have peace of mind. And I don't want a situation whereby when you go to work, you feel that I'm going to work. You must go there and be yourself. If you still feel that you are at work, then you are not where you're supposed to be. Because I believe that if you are where you're supposed to be, you'll be happy, you'll be fine. You won't even have issues with other people around you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Recently, I participated at the Durban International Film Festival, and one of the conversations we had was around the power of film and TV. How much power and influence do you feel that this medium has in as far as changing societal behaviors or even influencing us to rebel against anything or find that one place that makes us feel good and want to become a better world as a society?
Yeah, television is powerful. To me, when you think about powerful mediums, you'll think of Twitter and television.
Yes.
Because people these days, they see whatever they see on TV, they want to live that life.
Yes.
Yeah, TV is so powerful in such a way that if you don't treat it well, then you are destroying your community. Because whatever we're doing now, most of the things that we do in our lives, it's from the influence of television.
Yes.
Yeah, it's from the influence of television. Television is so powerful.
And you didn't want me to say you're a veteran, which I think you are, because spanning your history within the different television productions in SA, one can easily say your influence has changed how society sees and even thinks of itself, right? Just share with us which productions you've been a part of and what's been your one influence in each one in ensuring that the dignity as well as the influence of TV and film remains something that positively changes society.
Okay, when it comes to the productions that I've worked on, obviously it all started at Mubango.
Yes.
And because at Mubango, I didn't have anyone like who was showing me how things were done. But yet, people that had been there longer before me thought that I was the best production coordinator ever in the show.
Yes.
But I still wanted to know what other people were doing outside. Because Mubango alone, I wasn't gonna, obviously you need to go out and see how people are doing things. Especially when you were never trained by anyone. Because I wasn't sure if the things that I was doing in Mubango, it's how television worked or not. So after 2 years, that was in 2011, September or August, I decided to resign at Mubango. The reason being that I wanted to see how other productions are being run. And even when I left Mubango is long running. When I left, I was going to freelance. I was going to do a 3 months job, which also didn't make sense to other people. Why is this guy doing this?
Yeah.
But I had to do it for my own sake.
Yes.
And then I left Mubango. We went to started a production called Streets of Mangaung. It was on SABC2. It was a police drama on SABC2.
Yes.
We produced that drama series with Moja Movie Factory. And then after that, I went to do Mukwevo Mpfariseni David, that's SABC2
I remember.
sitcom. After Mukwevo Mpfariseni David, I went to 90 Plain Street, that's SABC2 as well. 90 Plain Street to Chisa, SABC1. That's a drama series for SABC1. After Chisa, we did a few Lokshin Bioscopes for... That's when Lokshin Bioscopes started from Zanzibar.
Yes.
But I wouldn't even remember those. Those were small projects. After those Lokshin Bioscope, we did Skim Sam. It was when it was still a drama series.
Yes.
After Skim Sam, I did, what else? I did Tola for SABC2. And in between, we were doing feature films as well.
Yes.
After Tola, Mubango came back knocking. I remember Dumandovi called me and then he said, can you please come and meet at the SABC?
Yes.
I said, it was on a Saturday morning. He asked if I could come meet at the SABC. I said, no, it's fine. And then later on he called again, change of mind, can we rather meet at Cresta? I said, it's fine. I went to Cresta. when I got to Cresta, he came, he said, no, let's rather meet at my house. And then he tried to he convinced me to go back to Mubango, and then I went back to Mubango, January 2014. Yeah, that's when I went back to Mubango to start working as a production manager for Mubango and the scheduler. And then I was there until August 2017, when we left to start a production called The River for One Magic, which is still on even now. After The River, we did Guyani.
I remember Guyani.
After Guyani, what did I do after Guyani? No, it was a feature. And then I had to come here in Durban for Uzalo to come and work as a land producer for Uzalo. And then I was with Uzalo until January 2019. And then I went on to produce my own show called Omen from Zanzi Magic.
I remember.
After Omen, I went back to Skim Sam, the long running. And then I resigned at Skim Sam January this year. That's 2021. And then now I'm
back home at
Uzalo as the series producer. I think that's the journey so far.
I think many young people who are going to look at the video are going to be impressed. But the question would be, if I'm sitting at home and I've got a similar drive and passion, how then do I cultivate it to a point where I can almost mirror Mr. Mukwevo? How would you inspire that young person who has aspiration but doesn't know where to start, or how to even go about pursuing the dream they have?
What I can tell those people that would like to find themselves where I am is that you need to lose something in this world to gain something. I lost a lot of things on the way, but I knew what I wanted. So sometimes we don't have to live like monkeys. You know monkeys, when it jump from one branch to the other, it doesn't leave that one until it drops that one. But with me, it's different because I live it completely because of the faith that I have. I live it completely in such a way that if I fall, then I will have fallen trying, instead of trying to be here and you don't need to do that in life. Lose whatever you need to lose to get to where you want to be. And never stop knocking until someone say come in. Because sometimes you'll find that the door is open but it's not locked, and if you just knock without pushing, it won't open.
True.
So keep on knocking until something happens.
What was impressive with your production, Omen, was there were a lot of visual effects, right? And that speaks to me about your interest or using value in technology. Do you feel that technology is changing the landscape of creativity? I know in certain instances, some people use too much technology such that human intelligence is no longer needed, right? But do you feel that we can strike a balance and see both positives and negatives, but still find value in technology as humans?
Yeah, I think those things can work together. Technology alone without our intellect cannot work. The same with us. We need technology to achieve certain things. I think we need to strike a balance between the two for it to work well. But technology is very serious. It's very important. I mean, you look at the shows that we're producing on television today. There's difference if you compare it to the previous ones, and that's because of technology. Because you are able to do things that without it you can't.
You can't do. Do you feel that having accomplished so many things, this has made it easier for you as a film and television producer, or do you feel that as a human being, there's still a lot more that you'd want to achieve in order for people to see you for you and not for your accomplishments?
Obviously, life is a journey. I don't, as much as people think that I've achieved a lot, I don't think that I've achieved even half of the things that I want to achieve in this life. I don't think so. I think that there's still a lot more to be achieved, and we must. Like you must live your life to the fullest in such a way that if you have to be an international person, let it be. But so far I'm just national. I haven't mentioned any international stuff, so I cannot rest until I get there. But to be honest with you, there's still a lot to be achieved in this life.
And you're a legend in my estimation in any case, because you're producing and allowing 60 million people to look at your productions, right? And do you feel that there is a difference between creativity and spirituality? In your own instance, do you separate the two when you go to work, or do you feel that they are one and the same thing?
I feel like they are one and the same thing, because we are spirit first. Yeah, so you need, it's same as intellect and technology.
Yes,
those things work hand in hand. Yeah, I think we need to be strong in both. Yeah.
And the very, 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 very last question, please give us a sense of your appreciation of the cultural and creative environment in SA. And if you can compare and say, if we were to do 1, 2, 3 as is done by Nigeria, or I'm currently content with how things are done in SA, we're on the right track, or we can improve.
No, obviously I'll talk about television because that's where I am.
Yes.
To be honest with you, I like what Nigerians do with their stories more than we do. Because here in South Africa, most of the stories that we tell are not our stories.
Authentic to us.
Yeah, they are not our own stories. And I believe that a lot can be achieved by telling our own stories.
Yes.
The way we want to tell them. Because even the show that we're talking about, Omen, as much as people think that it was almost authentic, it wasn't. And the show that you saw on TV is not what we pitched.
Wow.
We pitched a more authentic story, but the problem sometimes is broadcasters will tell you that this will not work for us. But I feel like if we can, like all those Nigerian movies, if you go home to your old people, you will find them watching those, because that's that's what makes sense to them. That's what talks to them. But here we're busy telling stories that we can't even sell outside, because we're trying to imitate your Americans and all those things. But I think we can have a bigger market outside of South Africa if we tell our own stories. Like the Nigerians, if they were not telling their own stories, we were not going to be watching Nigerian movies here in South Africa. Definitely. So I feel like there's still a lot to be done, because we don't tell our stories the way they should be told.
No, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Any concluding remarks from yourself as we wrap up episode 4 of Uhambo Lwami?
No, I will only tell young people that go to school and come knocking. We'll open doors for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And don't leave your girlfriend for your dreams. I'm kidding.
But if your girlfriend is standing on your way,
remove her.
Yeah, remove.
There was Mr. Dave Mpfariseni Mukwevo. He's a veteran television and film producer. He doesn't want me saying that, but we were discussing his journey on Uhambo Lwami, my journey, and this has been episode 4, and thank you for watching.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mukwevo Mpfariseni David G and Mr. Toki Mohoto, for that very interesting dialogue. Indeed, we've got to learn so much about your journey. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and sharing that incredible journey with us today. With that, we've come to the close of episode 4 of Uhambo Lwami, my journey. I would like to invite Mr. Sipiwe Mchunu from the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consulate General of India in Durban to render this evening's vote of thanks.
Namaskar, greetings to all of you. On behalf of Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consulate General of India in Durban, I am honored today to deliver a vote of thanks on today's 4th episode of the program Uhambo Lwami, My Journey. Allow me to thank our online guest, Mr. David Mpfariseni Mukwevo, a TV and film producer, and also allow me to thank Mr. Toki Mohoto, a social activist, for conducting a wonderful interaction on the journey of Mr. David Mpfariseni Mukwevo. The interactions were very informative, and we really enjoyed your journey in the industry of TV and film production. So, David G, we like to say thank you. Your interactions were very fruitful and very interesting. To Dr. Chaitanya Prakash Yogi, Director of Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center, Sristi Harinarayan, Sri Piyush Kanirwal, Dhanyavad for taking part on today's program. To all our online participants, I'd like to say thank you for taking time today and spend the rest of the evening with us. we'd like to say thank you very much, and you are kindly advised to visit ICCR Durban Facebook page for all cultural updates from the Swami Viveka Cultural Center in Durban. Once again, to David Mukwevo ji and Toki Mohoto ji, thank you for sharing this wonderful story of Mr. David Mukwevo with us. To all of you, have a wonderful evening. Namaskar.